put one on every block, that's gonna
Well,
defeat the
but
purpose, but.
we've addressed some conditions before in this year's programs where we're actually, I want to say D Street.
That's
Or
a bad
D
one.
Street. We looked at that, and you can go for 6, 7, 8 blocks without hitting a stop sign on a one-way street. And so, yeah, they're having a speeding problem. So we're doing a few things up there on North End between 16th and 18th with speed
Oh, up in
humps.
that area, yeah.
Speed humps and putting some more stop signs, creating some more stop conditions
Okay.
at some of the intersections, and hopefully that's going to try and calm some of that issue down. We may be able to do some of those things here. Again, we'll certainly take a look at it because that street is in the program. But always with the caveat that we've got to fix the street first.
Yeah, I know that's a priority, but while we're in there, I'd like to get some enhancements, just because I just consider it a real safety issue, and I see all these little kids, and it just breaks my heart if something were to happen tragically. And it wouldn't be because the guy wanted to hit the kid, but it was just not paying attention driving.
Sure.
They don't want to go down A Street, and they just, yeah.
See it every day.
As long as we're here, I just want to have my say. That's
Now
it.
the alleys,
I know that's
just so
more of a
you're aware,
street
the
thing, right?
alleys,
That's
the
not part of
alleys
the road project.
are not in
Yeah.
the program. The most we do at alleys when we cross them, the street improvements, is we'll either pave or run a drop curb sidewalk through there, whichever is more appropriate. And then the city has a detail, and what we're doing is we're going back 10 feet into the alley and we're putting down compacted asphalt millings. It's not for access really, it's primarily to inhibit the
Rocks from coming into the road.
silt and everything that
Well,
washes down
great.
from those into the gutters and gets into the drainage system.
Yeah.
I was gonna just say that, even if you, I was gonna say for you, that even if you just didn't touch that alley and you just improved it, there's no sidewalk that crosses that. And so like I said, it's a step down and then a step up on each side.
Right.
And then this part gets flooded, and then that part gets flooded with really big rains, and then the mothers come down from these apartment buildings or wherever with their kids in strollers, and they get up like this, and they go out to the road, and then they're out
Yeah.
like this.
They end
and
up
go all
having
the
to
way-
go out into
all
the actual
They go
roadway.
all the way down to the driveway before they can get back in.
Yeah,
because it's all
typically
flooded.
what we'll do in a situation like that is one of two things, depending on the circumstance and the design. We'll either, as I said, we'll either go through, run a sidewalk completely through there and just put a drop curb in, almost like a
The sidewalk's
handicap
there.
crossing.
No, the sidewalk's there.
Okay.
On both sides of that alley.
But I mean,
Yeah.
across it, yeah,
Across it.
across it.
Yeah.
Or we'll pave an apron across the alley to the
Okay.
back of the sidewalk, and then we will put curb ramps on the side with the handicap.
Yeah.
Detectable warning strips on.
Yeah, it's amazing when you're on D Street, the alley seems almost level, but when you get over to C, all of a sudden there's this drop in this big crater hole there. I don't know why maybe it's an optical illusion, it may be level, but
No,
it
it's-
certainly
yeah.
does seem that when you get to C Street, the alley is significantly higher than the roadway. And I don't know if you noticed that, you probably weren't looking for something like that. when you
Frankly, I
were
wasn't
right
looking at the
through.
alleys.
But it is something that I've noticed over the years, it just seems to get perpetually worse and worse. But when you look at it, it seems level and all fine behind the apartments, the condos there. But you actually, on each end of the street, there is a very difference between the heights. So I'm not sure, maybe that's a street thing when they're leveling that, I'm not sure what that is.
I put that one down too.
The manhole? Yeah, you can, so it's level with the gravel, the manhole is right now. Just the gravel and the manhole are level. One thing I wanted to mention, that spot right there alongside that house, for some reason from here to there, the sidewalk has never been put in, ever.
We're seeing a lot of that.
Just a little chunk.
Yeah.
Oh, on that west
Right on
side?
the
Yeah,
corner.
there is no
Right on the corner.
sidewalk
So people
there.
have to go out into the street and get back over to the front of my house or come back to the sidewalk.
One of the goals of the program is to make sure that we have a continuous pedestrian circulation on at least one side of every street that we're working on. If we have the budget and it's a matter of just, if in general, the existing sidewalks in pretty good shape, but there are gaps, we'll go ahead and fill those gaps in.
That would be great.
Again, depending
Yeah.
on budget restrictions that we have once we get dealing with the road. What I'm seeing on these streets here, I think this is primarily going to turn into a mill and resurfacing project. Some of these streets were included in the program because there were proposed water mains going in, which now Utilities Department has rethought that, and the water mains now are staying in the alleys where they are. so there won't be any water mains going in there, so there's no need to dig the street up. But we will be looking at doing milling and overlaying where it's necessary.
Good.
I know it has nothing to do with this, but that water project, I know they're replacing all the water pipes, right?
All 2 inches.
2-inch
Yeah.
permanent rates, yeah.
That feed houses.
Yes.
Right, okay. So they're gonna be digging up eventually all the alleys, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know where that
It's a
that is.
large portion, not all the alleys have
No.
2-inch water lines in them. There's many with 6 and 8.
Some have 4 and 6.
Only the two?
Only 2 being focused on in this program.
So I was just curious where you guys are with that. And, I mean, we're just started, where are you? Is there a place I can come visit you in the office and see what you're doing and?
Yeah, we're in phase 2 of 6 phases of that, and we're lacing up to 16 miles.
The other day, because I actually had water.
What area of the city is phase 2?
It is, let's see if I can name all the neighborhood associations, Mango Groves, Eden Place, and College Park.
So you're in the northwestern side of the
Right
city?
now, I think we're
Northeastern
District
there.
3, yeah.
Northeast?
Yeah.
Where was phase 1? Over there too?
Phase 1 was down on the southeastern end.
Down by Barton Elementary.
Okay, down by Tropical Drive over in that area, okay. And District 1, in the area that we're discussing now, do you happen to know where they're at in that
What that
line for
phase
the water?
is?
What phase we're in? You can say
Between
no,
3
I'm
and
perfectly
4,
fine with
I
that.
want to say. Yeah, I'm having a hard time visualizing it
That's
right
fine,
now.
that's fine. I was just curious, is that, are we looking years out, or is it any chance it's gonna fall in when this road project is going on at the same time? Are you trying to sister the work that you're doing with the road work at the same time?
When we
or-
can, when there's an overlap with the road, we do pull that segment where it was pre-planned and put it into like a bond
Okay,
work if it works out, but if not, it just stays in that phase plan that it
The object
was.
of the exercise is just to timber road one time.
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I was just wondering, but I know my stuff is in the alleyway, but I was just curious if both projects were gonna line up and perhaps everything get done at once.
Mhm.
I know that's fantasy land, but every once in a while. you
Sometimes
just
it works
know
out that way,
You
yeah.
never know, you know.
Pre-planning.
So even though you guys are segmenting this, do you have anything to do with encouraging arrows on the ground, like around the circle at least, coming out of the circle? Because I know there's so much traffic going the wrong
Yeah.
direction here,
Um,
like heading into the circle.
Again, that's something within the roadway segments that are in the program that we can take a look at potentially
Is
as.
Lake in?
The lake is actually a state road.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are state roads.
So you have to go to the state to get
The state has-
arrows
State has
painted on
to-
there? Yeah.
For that first lake, you have to deal with FDOT.
It's too bad because it's really nasty. There's a lot of cars go the wrong way in that circle.
Well, it only takes once for them to learn the direction.
Well, then they don't have a car, but there's a lot of people that do it. And there's a lot of damage that happens.
Okay.
I just want to compliment whoever was doing that road inspection. They seemed like they were real meticulous in doing their job. They were
Yeah.
doing a good job checking all those curves and stuff.
The sidewalk crew,
Yeah.
the 2 guys and a girl?
Yeah,
so
something like
It's a
that.
good crew.
And the
Yeah.
police and the firemen are outstanding in our area.
Okay. Yeah, those were the engineers
They were
that doing the
visible.
preliminary work.
Yeah, they did a lot of marking, they were looking at a lot of different things and noting stuff, so that, I got excited, I was like, oh, how soon are they coming? When can I get that traffic calming device so we can like get these
Actually,
drivers?
this project, when are you due on this one? End of October?
I believe so.
Yeah. The plans are due 100% complete from the engineer the end of October.
Of this year?
Yes, of this
Oh,
year.
that's, okay.
And, don't get too excited.
That's okay. If you get them, it's a start. We
If
just
we
have to wait
don't-
for that.
If we don't have any underground utilities, if we don't have any water main, if we don't have any drainage to have to go in, if we don't have any underground pipes or utilities, what we'll do is, instead of bidding the project for 2 months through a competitive bid award, we have a list of 5 contractors who are under contracts that were awarded earlier this year for the specific purpose of doing just the roadway components of these projects. So if there's underground utilities, if we have water drainage put in, whatever, we generally then have to do competitive bids. It's like a 2-month process.
Right.
And then we have to come to commission and get an approval for that. If not, once we get the plans and everything is complete, the plans are complete. We will just basically make a selection. We have spreadsheets that we'll plug the quantities into, and it'll tell us which one of those 5 contractors is going to give us the best price. And on that basis, we'll select that contractor, and we'll go right to commission and award it for construction. So those projects, we can get started a lot faster than the underground ones. So if we don't have any underground on this project, on this series of projects, which I don't think we did, we get the plans in October, we could potentially get a commission approval in November, and get construction started late November, early December.
Of this year.
Yes.
And then you're
Oh,
in charge
wow.
of the arrows and the striping and all that stuff? You guys, as part of this project?
Whatever's on the plans.
Yeah,
Whatever's on the plans. It's got to be on the plans.
We're milling it
Well,
over.
I'm here. I have recommended it to City Hall so many times over the years. I quit coming to recommend it. And the arrows are such a good idea. I mean, it's just so easy. You're going the wrong way, there's an arrow pointed at you. Because you're looking at the road, you know? Seriously.
You know, there are some pavement markings that, when somebody has the bright idea to put them in, you wonder why they didn't do it in the first place. For some reason, Florida Department of Transportation, over the years, as they have changed the interchanges to 95
Right.
all through the county, you're not always entering and exiting on the same side of the street. Or the turnpike, actually, is another good. So if you notice down here on 6th Avenue,
Yeah.
Yeah.
earlier this year, late last year, somebody had the idea of, in the turn lanes to go south on 6th Avenue, okay, from the east approach, to put the I-95 insignia painted on the turnpike.
Right.
Because I have personally, and I see it more on the turnpike, because they've got the different accesses all over the place, looking for the signs, and sometimes that sign, you don't see that sign until you're on top of it, as to which lane are you supposed to be in when you want to get on the
Left or right,
expressway.
yeah.
And just having that
Ahead of time.
that painted emblem
Yeah.
that you can see on the pavement, I mean, it's just, okay, I'm supposed to be here, or I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, I love those ones up in Jupiter where everybody's in the same lane, but you better turn first to this way if you're
Yeah.
going north, and then the next one to go south. I'm like,
Yeah.
Jesus, you know?
Yeah.
And then people are trying to get over, and it's like a madhouse.
How many times have I gone south wanting to go north at that Indian town, right?
Yeah, that one's,
I'm like,
you
oh,
gotta really be paying
already
attention
running late.
there.
Yeah.
And same thing happens in Delray as you approach Second Avenue there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to get within the last block before you can see which of those 3 lanes is going through and which one's
Yeah.
doing what. So just before you enter downtown, coming from 95 and Delray, and I've called FDOT up on that one and talked to that guy about it. Love to see some stuff painted 100 yards more that way.
Right.
You know,
Give us a hint.
yeah, give us an idea what's going to happen next.
Okay, is there anything else that you want to bring to our attention as far as these particular?
I like your idea.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ricardo.
Hi, Richard.
Okay.
Okay.
And my English is not. I live in 706 South H Street.
H, okay.
H. And that street, it's we don't have like street lighting.
Street lighting.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe you know that 2 weeks ago, I think they shot somebody or shoot somebody. They killed, I don't know if a guy there. It's a little danger because it's dark, it's completely dark.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like two nights ago, and yesterday in the morning, I think 3 o'clock in the morning, and my brother woke me up and to see he saw by the window somebody tried to get in his car because it's completely dark.
Dark.
Dark. Yeah, and
You said you're at 706 South H?
706. No, 706 South.
Okay.
Yeah.
H?
H.
Right, yeah, right.
H, like in a house.
Right in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we're actually on the, no, we were up at 2nd and H this morning looking at different lighting and stuff we're gonna do in that area the next couple of weeks, so.
South
I'll
or
get with
north?
Electric and have them look at
South.
that.
South.
That's down by the school right there, right? H
Right
and
here.
7th, is it little school back there?
7th and H.
The school back there, yeah.
Yes. street lighting is not a part of this program,
Oh, okay.
but what we have done is when we get those kinds of comments, which we have in some neighborhoods, actually in the neighborhood that we're opening the plans for tomorrow, we refer those issues to the city's electric utility. And they have been very, very responsive to going out and investigating the issues, and if lights are added, to designing where's the best place to put them, at what distance, and how far apart, and actually implementing that.
You can make calls to them yourself, by the way. You can't, I've done it, So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, anytime I have lighting issues, I'm always giving them ideas.
But we'll make sure we pass that on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it takes them forever to get to it, you know.
No, they've been, when they've installed all the new lighting, they've been really good. Because I've had
This-
some friends call.
What we have right
The
now is
alleyways have
awesome.
been too dark,
Yeah.
and they came right out and added another
Yeah.
pole and put up another light. So when you have an area like that, and you have a commissioner here, so he's hearing you, this is the guy that's the head of the director, so he'll be able to look at that issue and address it for you quickly. And I know you're a little hesitant because of your language. You don't feel real confident about your English, but there's people here that understand and will be able to address that issue for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks.
And frankly, I spent most of my career coordinating with Florida Power and Light, and Lake Worth's electric utility is like a dream.
Oh, if you ask me how much I paid,
That's a
In
totally
terms
different
of
topic.
responsiveness,
Yeah, they've gotten a lot better.
FP&L to get a street light in, it can take you literal months. If you could even get the request of somebody responsible for doing it. Lake Worth, refer to their electric utility staff, they go out, they look at it, they crank it right in.
Yeah, especially there's a pole there already with power. We're like, sure, we can wire that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Very good.
that's it.
Thank you. Okay, let me recognize Brian Shields, who just walked in. He is our Utilities Director and City Engineer.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a good meeting.
Wants to make sure everybody knows if there's an issue, he's, you know,
I'm the one to blame.
he's one of the. Okay, anything else?
No, you know, the people that are the closest are the best to listen to.
Well, we certainly appreciate you coming out tonight, and I should have apologized for my informal garb. I looked at the weather report this morning, I figured I wasn't going to wear dress clothes today. But anyway, thanks very much. Keep track of us on lakeworthroads.com, okay, which is the city's, which is a program website that is done in conjunction with WGI in the city. And it's constantly being updated. We are actually putting the plans for these projects up on the website as soon as they're available to us, so that you can actually go through and see what's being proposed. And we like to wait until the plans are at least 90% done or pretty well complete before we throw them up there. But that's one good way to keep track of the timing on the project and you know what's going to happen on each street segment.
So Richard, I have a question.
Yeah.
So you do your plans, you said you submit them to, you get bids and then you submit it to the council? Or you submit it to the council and then get bids?
No,
Which way
no.
do you-
We will take the plans and we will either advertise for bid, for competitive bids, which again is like a 2-month process, which we're doing right now actually. Thursday, Wednesday, today, and tomorrow we'll be opening bids for 3 year 1 projects. Yes, this one opens tomorrow. Once we get the bid, we have to evaluate the contractors. Basically, we'll look at the bid package from the lowest bidder, and we'll go through, we'll check his qualifications, we'll check to make sure he's got a complete bid, and that it's not a lowball bid or an unbalanced bid, if you will. And his experience checks out, his finances check out, and everything else. And then we'll move forward with issuing an intent to notice, an intent to award the contract. And then the contractor has X number of time to get all of his payment performance bonding and all of his paperwork in line. At that point in time, then we go to commission and get the project awarded. But that's like a
Well, you
2-month
get it
process.
awarded, but I'm wondering, when does it get approved before the bidding? I I mean, you're gonna draw some up, says, okay, we're gonna put arrows, we're gonna put speed bumps, whatever.
Right.
Like traffic calming, I like that better than speed bumps, because like you said, they're wider.
Right.
And then.
That basically is a staff decision.
Okay, so we don't get to look at what you plan
Again,
to do
but
before you go
it's-
to bid?
We'll have those plans up on the website. You could stay in contact with us. And we'll be happy to, take your calls or make the plans available to you in a preliminary fashion.
I just want to see arrows and lots of lines.
I can't guarantee the arrows, but we'll
Lots of lines that say do this.
What you're looking at, Michael, is the proposals, and this program was initially put together is strictly road surface repair and the rest of that. What we're here to do is say, hey, while you're on my street, I'd like some whistles and bells with what your original basic plan is. Now, they'll take our input, they'll determine what that's gonna cost, what they can afford to put in. If it's within the realm of money that's been budgeted for our area, they might be able to do some of it, they might be able to do all of it. And then it becomes a practicality of the staff of the city overlooking it to see really what is going to be functionally working in that area. Arrows are a good idea, speed reducers are a good idea. What's in the budget, what's been budgeted for that particular area, what they can do. Now we're in the process of putting those together.
Does it cost that much more to add that asphalt speed reducer?
I'm sorry?
Does it cost that much more to add an asphalt speed reducer?
It's all relative to the budget for the particular project.
Right.
Some
And then-
projects will require complete roadway reconstruction, including, additional drainage to solve surface bonding and things like that. And it really chews into the budget, so, it depends on,
And then those two flood issues I mentioned at the side of 1415, right at the alley there, because it always floods and stays, it doesn't go back in the drain.
But you see, what you're looking at is
Are you
one
guys-
spot
Right.
of all of that area that has to
But
be
all I'm
good.
asking then is, have you guys surveyed that? Have you noticed that?
where are we talking
Well,
about?
he's talking about, no, it's this one. He's talking about this right here.
That spot right there alongside the building. And also that, I'm pretty sure because traffic's supposed to come around here, there's not supposed to be any parking room there. And so.
Well, yeah, this piece of C Street we'll definitely look at, it's in the program.
Yeah.
If there's any issues in the alley?
No, I'm talking right here.
Yeah.
And right there, water just stands on both sides of the street.
Yeah.
And
Take a look at
and
it.
so, I mean, it'd be real easy to regrade it. Well, I don't know, you're not grading, you're just surface.
We're looking at it.
Well, I mean, if there's a drainage issue there, it needs to be solved, we need to solve it with this project.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not the street that needs the repair, but it's the low points in the gutter that need to be fixed. And if you need to chip out curb and regrade those flow lines, then yeah, you're gonna end up probably rebuilding a piece of street there.
It's hard for me to say, but it just looks like it sits right there at the end of the building, on both sides.
And I suspect that Tom's survey people have probably picked that stuff up. But yeah, we'll be aware of it.
It's there, yeah. That little spot is just, looking at it too, I think.
Okay. Well, at that point, thank you very much again. Appreciate you coming out, appreciate your comments.
This is great.
And we need to put her on staff. She needs to be up here, from what she just said, doing what I'm doing.
And she was a contract specialist for VA, so I kind of know what you're talking about.
Well, thanks again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.